Okay, so elasticity we were studying. Elasticity means whenever deforming force is applied on a body and is removed, the body regains its original configuration, that is original length, volume or shape. Okay, this property of a solid we call it as elasticity, and the body is called as the elastic body. Such a body we call it as elastic body. Okay, then few definitions here we have to study. Stress. Stress is whenever the deforming force is applied and internal force is developed in the body which tries to bring back to its original configuration. Such a force we call it as restoring force. This restoring force per unit area is called as stress. Okay, so stress is force per unit area. Then three types of stresses we have studied. The first one, normal stress. Okay, when the deforming force is applied normal to the area. Then the restoring force per unit area, we call it as normal stress. Okay, which is again of two types, tensile stress and compressive stress. Tensile stress, which is also called as longitudinal stress, when the force is applied such that the length of the body increases. Then the restoring force per unit area, we call it as longitudinal stress or the tensile stress. Now, if the deforming force decreases the length of the body, decreases the length of the rod or the wire, then the restoring force per unit area, we call it as compressive stress. Then the second type of is volumetric stress. Volumetric stress, if the deforming force is applied in such a way that the volume of the body changes without any change in its shape. Okay, there is no change in the shape. Without any change in its shape, only the volume changes. Then such internal restoring force per unit area, we'll call it as the volumetric stress. So here the volume is changing without any change in the shape of the body. Then the third type of stress which we were discussing is tangential stress or shear stress. Okay, tangential or shear stress. Okay, in which the deforming force is applied tangential to the area or tangential to the body. The deforming force is applied tangential to the body such that the shape of the body changes without any change in its volume. Now there is no change in the volume, only the shape of the body changes. Then such internal restoring force per unit area, we'll call it as tangential stress. Okay, so write down when the deforming force is applied, when the deforming force is applied tangential to the body, or you may write down tangential to a given area, tangential to the body such that the shape of the body changes, without any change in its volume. Such that the shape of the body changes without any change in its volume. Then the internal restoring force per unit area. Then the internal restoring force per unit area is called as tangential stress. Okay, now there is a cube or a cuboid whose lower end is fixed. Okay, it is fixed to the rigid support. Okay, the lower end of a cube or it may be a cuboid is fixed to a rigid support. Okay, so this end is fixed. Now a deforming force is applied on the upper face. Okay, it's not a square, it's a cube or a cuboid. Okay, inside the body is here, it's a three-dimensional figure. Okay, now the tangential force is applied on the upper face of this body. Okay, so how is the deforming force applied? It is tangential to the given area or tangential to the surface. Okay, so here the force, the deforming force is tangential to the body. Okay, as the lower face is fixed, this cannot move. So what happens? The body will be tilted like this by some angle theta. So the shape of the body changes. Okay, now the dotted one is the body. As the tangential force is applied on the upper face, so the shape of the body changes. Then some internal restoring force is developed. That restoring force per unit area, we call it as the tangential stress. So here the tangential stress is equal to force per unit area. Okay, force upon area of the upper face. If it is a cube, then the area of the upper face will be a square. Okay, if it's a cube of side L, then what will be the area of the upper face? Because the force is applied on which area? On the upper face area. So then area will be L square. Okay. Or if it is a cuboid, then it will be length into breadth. Okay, so tangential stress is force per unit area. So here the deforming force is applied tangential to the surface such that what is changing here? Shape of the body is changing. Okay, earlier this was a tube like this. Now the shape of the body becomes like this. So the shape of the body changes without any change in its volume. Okay, in volumetric stress, volume changes without any change in its shape. For example, when we have immersed the sphere, a solid sphere inside water, the volume decreases, but still it remains as a sphere only. Okay, it doesn't become a cuboid or a cube. The volume changes without any change in its shape. Here, the shape of the body is changing without any change in its volume. So this force we call it as the tangential stress. Okay, so here area is area of the upper face, area of upper face. Okay, what is this area? Area will be the area of the upper face on which the force is applied tangentially. So such a stress we call it as the tangential or shear stress. So here we have studied three types of stresses. The first one, normal stress, which changes the length of the body. Okay, so the body will be in the form of a rod or a wire. It will change the length, so it may also be called as the longitudinal stress. The second one, volumetric stress. The deforming force will be applied in such a way that the volume of the body changes. Okay, tangential or the shear stress, the force will be applied tangential to the surface such that the shape of the body changes. Okay, then the restoring force per unit area, we call it as the tangential stress. Okay, so we have studied about stress and the three types of stresses. Now the next topic is strain. Okay, whenever deforming force is applied, what happens? There is a change in the configuration of the body. Change in configuration means either the length is changing or volume is changing or the shape of the body is changing. Okay, so this change in configuration upon original configuration. So the ratio of the change in configuration to the original configuration, we call it as strain. Okay, it may be a change in length, it may be volume or shape. Okay, depending which stress is applied, which type of deforming force is applied. So there will be some strain in the body which we define it as the change in the configuration to the original configuration is called as strain. So write down strain. Write down when deforming force is applied. When deforming force is applied, the configuration of the body changes. The configuration of the body changes. That is either the length, volume or shape changes. That is either length, volume or shape changes. Write down. Strain is defined as the change in configuration to the original configuration. Strain is defined as the ratio of change in configuration to the original configuration. Change in configuration to the original configuration. So write the formula. Strain is change in configuration upon original configuration. Okay, so strain will be change in configuration to original configuration. Now comes its unit. If length is changing, then it will be change in length upon original length. Volume is changing, change in volume to the original volume. Yes. What is its unit? You can unmute and give me the answer. What is the unit of strain? Unit and dimensions. No one? What will be its SI unit? Yes, Shivang Dvedi. You can unmute and give the answer. Utkarsh Singh. Okay, nobody wants to give the answer? Okay, so I will give the answer. What will be its SI unit? If it is change in length upon original length upon length, no unit, no dimension. So it is unitless and dimensionless. Unitless and dimensionless. No unit, no dimension. Why? Because it is the ratio of the similar quantities. So it has got no unit, no dimensions. Okay, next we'll study the types of strain. Okay, so there will be 3 types of strain. So write down types of strain. Okay, as we have studied 3 types of stresses, the same way there will be 3 types of strains. Write the first one, longitudinal strain. Longitudinal strain. Yes, longitudinal strain, it will be defined as the ratio of the change in length to the original length. Okay, which type of stress is applied? Normal stress, the longitudinal stress is applied. That is, the deforming force is applied to change the length of the wire. Okay, then the longitudinal strain will be defined as the ratio of the change in length to original length. So write down longitudinal stress, longitudinal strain. Write down when the deforming force changes the length of the wire. When the deforming force changes the length of a wire, then the ratio of change in length to original length. Then the ratio of change in length to the original length is called as longitudinal strain. So what will be the formula of longitudinal strain? Let the length which is changing is delta L. Let there is a small change in the length, delta L, and the original length is L. So So what is longitudinal strain equals to delta L upon L. What is this delta L? This is the change in length. This will be the increase in length. Okay, when the wire is loaded by some weight, its length increases, and the increase in length, let it is delta L, and the original length, let it is capital L. So delta L upon L is the longitudinal strain. Right, the second one, volumetric strain. Volumetric strain. Okay, when the deforming force is applied in such a way that the volume of the body is changing. Okay, then the ratio of the change in volume to the original volume is called as the volumetric strain. So write down, when the deforming force changes the volume of the body, then the ratio of change in volume to the original volume. Then the ratio of change in volume to the original volume is called as volumetric strain. Okay, so volumetric strain will be given by change in volume, let it is delta V. Okay, delta V is the change in volume and the original volume is V. So the volumetric strain will be equal to change in volume to the original volume. Okay, now the third type is shear strain. Shear strain. Okay, which stress is applied here? Shearing stress is applied, tangential stress is applied, that is the deforming force is applied tangential to the area, okay, tangential to a surface. Then we know that what changes? The shape changes. So this change in shape to the original shape, we call it as the shear strain, and we'll find its expression, okay, by using the same figure which we have drawn for tangential stress. So write down shear strain. Write down when the tangential force is applied, to change the shape of the body, then the ratio of change in shape to the original shape, is called as shear strain. Write down, it is measured by angle theta. Now let's see what is this angle theta. Okay, the same figure in which the lower face of a cube is fixed. Okay, the same figure I am drawing. The lower face of the cube is fixed and a tangential force is applied on the upper face. That is the deforming force which is tangential to the upper face is applied. So what happens? The shape of this body changes. As the lower face is fixed, it cannot move. So due to this tangential force, this body is twisted by an angle theta. It is twisted by an angle theta. Okay, if it is a cube. Okay, let a cube of length or of size L let a cube of side L is fixed from the lower face, is fixed at its lower face. Okay. Now theta measures, shear strain is measured by angle theta. Shear strain is measured by angle, what we have written, shear strain is measured by angle theta. So here we will measure this angle theta. The side of the cube is L. Okay, now what happens? The upper face is shifted this much. Let this is equal to delta L. Let this is equal to delta L, by which the upper face is shifted. Okay, upper face is shifted by delta L. And what is this original length? This is L. Okay, now theta, as theta is very small. Okay, it is not noticeable also. So theta is very small. So tan theta can be taken equal to theta, and tan theta from here is equal to perpendicular upon base. That is delta L upon L. Whenever theta is very small, you can take theta equals to sine theta or theta equals to tan theta. Okay, when theta is very small. So here, as theta is very small, we have considered theta is approximately equal to tan theta. And from this right angle triangle, you can see that tan theta is equal to delta L upon L. And the shear strain is measured by this angle theta. From here we see that theta is equal to delta L upon L. It is the measure of the shear strain. Okay, this longitudinal strain is different from the shear strain. Longitudinal strain, it is in the form of a wire and the length of the wire increases. So the increase in length is delta L and the original length is L. Okay, so here the shape of the body is changing. By delta L, the upper face is shifted, and the original length, that is the, as it is a cube of side L, so this side is L or this side is also equal to L. So delta L upon L measures this shear strain. Okay, note it down and draw the figure. Shear strain is measured by angle theta. Okay, and how can angle theta be measured? Theta is very small, consider it to be tan theta, and tan theta is perpendicular upon base, that is delta L upon L is the shear strain. Okay, so we have studied about stress and strain. 3 types of stresses and 3 types of strains. Okay, the 3 types of strain are longitudinal strain, which is change in length to the original length. The second one is volumetric strain, change in volume to the original volume. Shear strain, which is measured by angle theta, and angle theta here is equal to delta L upon L when we consider a cube whose lower end is fixed and on the upper face a tangential force is applied. So it is twisted, or you may say that it gets twisted by angle theta. So the upper face is shifted by delta L. So this delta L upon the side of the cube, original side of the cube, which is L. Delta L upon L is the measure of shear strain. Okay, next we will study about Hooke's law. Okay, Hooke, a name of a scientist who gave one law. We'll study about Hooke's law. Okay, but before studying Hooke's law, elastic limit. Okay, one small, because we'll be using this term, elastic limit, in Hooke's law, so you should know what is elastic limit. Okay, so before studying Hooke's law, write down heading elastic limit. Okay, any elastic body is there. Elastic body means when the deforming force is applied and removed, it comes back to its original configuration. Okay, such a body we call it as the elastic body. But if you keep on increasing the deforming force, there will be a particular limit of force beyond which it will lose its elasticity. That is beyond which if you remove the deforming force, it will never come back to its original configuration. So that limit of deforming force we call it as the elastic limit. Though it is an elastic body, but if you keep on increasing the deforming force, so there will be a limit of the force after beyond which it will lose its property of elasticity. Lose its property of elasticity means it will not come back to its original configuration after the removal of deforming force. Okay, so this force, this value of the deforming force beyond which it loses the property of elasticity, we call it as the elastic limit. So write down the deforming force beyond which an elastic body loses its property of elasticity. Loses its property of elasticity is called as elastic limit. Is called as elastic limit. Okay, so elastic limit is the deforming force only. Okay, beyond which the body will never come back to its original configuration. Okay, such deforming force we call it as the elastic limit. Okay, now Hooke's law states that within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. So Hooke's law, within the elastic limit means we are not exceeding that deforming force beyond which it will lose its elasticity. So within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress is directly proportional to strain. You can write down like this only. Within the elastic limit, Hooke's law states that within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. So on equating it, some constant of proportionality, here it is represented by E, which is called as modulus of elasticity. So E here is called as this constant of proportionality is called as modulus of elasticity. So modulus of elasticity, E here is equal to stress upon strain. So modulus of elasticity is the ratio of stress upon strain. Stress is to strain is called as modulus of elasticity. Okay, now let's define modulus of elasticity. Write down. Okay, first write as such given on the board. E is equal to, E is what? Modulus of elasticity. E is equal to stress upon strain. So write down within the elastic limit, modulus of elasticity is the ratio of stress to strain. Okay, so what will be the SI unit of modulus of elasticity? Strain doesn't have any unit, so whatever is the unit of stress, the same is the unit of modulus of elasticity, that is Newton per meter square, and the dimension is also the same as that of stress. We know that m and p raised to the power minus 2 is for Newton upon area meter square L raised to the power minus 1. So the dimensional formula is m L raised to the power minus 1 T raised to the power minus 2. Okay, here E can also be written as stress is proportional to the load. Okay, and strain is proportional to the extension. Suppose there is a wire, you are loading the wire. The force which is applied, stress is, because the area is constant, stress is equal to force upon area. Okay, that is load upon area. Area is constant, so stress is directly proportional to load. Strain, original length is constant, strain is directly proportional to the changing length, increasing length, which we call it as the extension. So E can also be written as load upon extension. So the modulus of elasticity can also be written as load upon extension. Otherwise, from the Hooke's law, you get it as stress upon strain. E is equal to, the modulus of elasticity is equal to the ratio of stress is to strain. Okay, so note it down. Modulus of elasticity, which is the ratio of the stress is to strain. Okay, note down as is given on the board. Okay, then tomorrow we'll study about the types of moduli of elasticity. Okay, as we have studied that there are 3 types of stresses and 3 types of strains. So correspondingly, there will be 3 types of modulus of elasticity. Okay, so that we are going to study tomorrow. Okay, so modulus of elasticity is the ratio of stresses to strain.